All righty, we're live.
Right, we're live. Yes. I'm going to go ahead over to the chat and say welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for joining in today.
Hey, everyone. Thanks for joining.
And of course, we'll give people a few minutes to join in. And I'll start off with a question for you,
Okay.
which is what types of businesses do you like most recommend use these models that we're going to get into? Or maybe what stage of business? Like, what kind of...
Any business can use what I'm gonna be discussing today, and I think the earlier the better. And you'll see that in my presentation. I think if you can get this going, if you're in your first couple of years of business, this is a great time to employ automation and all of that. But even if you've been in business for 20 something years, it's never too late to get started and get these things in place. So
Fantastic. All right. So as y'all join in, I will ask you to go down to the bottom of the screen here. You'll see a box with about in the middle with some lines in it. That's our chat. Come on over. Let us know what type of business you're running and what brings you here today. Whether it's just questions, whether it's some ideas you're working with, whether it's some obstacles. Let's go ahead and dive in so that when we have our discussion portion, after Samantha shares the meat of the session today, we've got a lot to build on. And then, of course, I'll be sharing ways for you to connect and stay in conversation with Samantha about those same topics. So, coming over to the chat here to say welcome, Danielle, Tanya,
hey.
Avery, Denise, Christina, Mark, Norma, and Reachback team. Thanks for joining in today, y'all. Come on over to the chat and introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your business. Any questions you have for Samantha or about automation in general. All right. And then my name is Stephanie. I'll introduce myself. I'm here to represent Novo. We've got a really lively community of business owners all around the Novo business banking platform. So the integrations, the interface, the all the financial management tools that come with Novo are just a part of the resources we're able to offer. We've been doing this Novo Business Education series with experts like Samantha, who are able to provide the business owners in our community and business owners in our various communities. Welcome from Alignable, welcome through Novo, welcome through Facebook. We're really lucky to be able to share space with folks like Samantha, who can be a resource to you all, in addition to our business banking platform. So if you have any questions about Novo, it'll come up later. Throw those in the chat too, and I can help you with those. And as we get into automation, again, please don't hesitate to share any of your questions, obstacles, ideas over in the chat for Samantha to discuss with you. I'm heading over there now. Welcome, Tanya. 2 businesses, a family practice, and a med spa. Amazing.
Nice.
And you already use Novo. Awesome. So maybe we'll be able to share something that you can build into your business using both Novo and some of the other tools that Samantha will share.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. So yeah, in just a few minutes here, I'll hand it over to you again, Samantha.
Just let me know when you're ready for me.
Go ahead and add
share
those
my screen.
Go ahead. Add those slides in.
Okay.
Welcome, Rich. Thanks, y'all, for joining in. All right. I'll see y'all over in the chat, and I'm going to take my screen down and listen in, take my notes as well. Thank you, Samantha.
Thank you. Well, hey everyone. Thank you for joining me today on this webinar. I'm going to be talking about building a business that runs without you, how you can replace yourself and reclaim your life. A little bit, well, before we get started, you're muted, use reactions, use the chat to ask your questions. Again, Stephanie's going to be there to let me know because I can't really see the chat right now. So yeah, a little bit about me is I'm a certified automation service provider. I've been doing this business since 2018, helping small businesses and CEOs automate their entire business, not only just marketing and sales, but operations and service. So I've been doing that for a while, and I've been a entrepreneur since 1997. So before that, I was a professional organizer. So I bring that into my business too, which you'll see once we get into this. So here's the agenda today. We're going to be talking about how to build a self-sustaining business. And if you see me looking down, I'm looking at my notes. We're going to be talking about how to build a self-sustaining business, key automations for sales, marketing, operations, and service, why SOPs and team training matter, how simplifying your finances with Novo work, and then I'm going to give you some action steps you can use today to get started with building freedom in your business, and then we'll wrap up with questions. So I like to say it's time to get off the manual bus and to get on to the automation bus. So, what does it mean to build a business that runs without you? Um, to me, it means that I'm able to, when life happens, when things happen, my business still runs. In my own journey, my own entrepreneur journey, I've had illnesses, deaths, homelessness, all type of things happen during the course of me running my business. But because I've had automation and systems in place, my business kept running. No one knew what was going on in my life because of it didn't need me to run. I had these systems in place running. So that's what I mean when I say build a business that runs without you. You don't want to have a business where you always have to be involved, where you're always the decision maker. Everyone has to come to you for everything. You want to be able to travel with your family, relax, take time off if you get sick to recover, all those things with and knowing that you're still making money in your business and that your business is still running smoothly. So why do most business owners don't get here? Well, one thing is because they believe no one can do it like me. And I was like that for the longest time. I had trouble with delegation. I was like, well, no one can do it just like I can. Or you might be the type of business owner who feels that it takes too much time to train someone to do it exactly like you do it, or to, put that trust. It's all, a level of control. Like it's your baby, your business is your baby. You don't, want to hand that off. So most business owners never get to that level of freedom and having their business run without them because they're stuck on that believing that no one can do it like them. Also, there's a lack of a roadmap or support. They don't have a vision of the goals that they want in their business. They haven't built a support system or team around them to help support that vision. Or even worse is if they do have a vision or a roadmap, they haven't communicated that with their employees or their team. So everybody's kind of like flying blind. And then the third thing is tech overwhelm. There's so much technology out there. There's something new coming out every single day to help you automate your business, to help you do something tech wise in your business. And to a lot of business owners, that's overwhelming to keep up with. And really, you shouldn't be trying to keep up with that. That's what people like me are for. But it's just too much to try to grasp onto and to know, oh, is this the right tool that I need? Will this fit what we're doing? And if you're not tech savvy at all, that makes it even worse. That makes it actually scary to implement tech. I've had clients who were just afraid of technology altogether because they weren't tech savvy, and they didn't really understand what was going on, and they didn't want to trust technology for that. So that's why most owners don't get there. So really, you should have 4 pillars of an owner optional business. So if you want your business to run on its own, you should at least have these 4 main foundations set up. So you need systems and SOPs. I'm really big on systems and SOPs. They're really your playbook in your business. They let everybody else know what's going on. And it's really the starting point before you even get to the second pillar, which is automation. Because you want technology working for you like an employee and behind the scenes, so you don't have to worry about it. But if you don't have those systems and SOPs in place, it's going to be harder to automate because you'll just be automating chaos. And then there's team empowerment. You want to have your team not only with great tech, but you need those great team members in your company who are confident and trained on these systems and SOPs on how to run your company. So again, you can step away if you need to and know that everything's going to run smoothly. And then there's financial visibility, knowing your numbers in real time so that you can make smart decisions without having to be deep in the weeds every day. And I'm going to talk about how Novo helps me do that. So, with all that in mind, let's jump over to how to build a self sustaining business. You're going to want to shift from being the doer to the designer of your business. You're going to want to document workflows and decision making processes. You're going to want to delegate ownership, not just tasks, and you want to build predictable systems that produce results without your input. So, what do I mean from shift from being a doer to a designer of your business? Um, you can't scale your business if you're stuck in the weeds. Your role as the business owner, as the CEO, is to evolve from doing everything, doing all the little tasks, to designing the system that other people will follow. You're like the architect of it all. You're the visionary. You need to stay in a visionary role and hand these things off to your team, to your employees, to your contractors to execute what your vision is. So that's what I mean by shifting from being a doer to a designer of your business. Um, when you have things designed, when you have these systems in place, you know that your business is working even when you're not there. Document workflows and decision making processes. Again, you're going to hear me talk about this all the time. If it lives in your head, your team, your employees can't replicate it. Documenting it ensures that no matter who's doing it, it's done the same way every time, how consistently. Sometimes the owner will have it in their head, or even the person doing the process, especially if you have employees, if they're doing the process, they might have it in their head. But if it's not documented, if they're sick or if they're off work, what happens? And I've seen too many of my clients, I've seen too many other businesses where I've heard stories of someone went on leave or someone got sick, and now everybody's trying to figure out how to do what they were doing, because something that had to do with how they were going to get paid was in the balance. So again, documenting these things, making documenting the whole process, getting your processes down, because even as an owner, you might not know how something is done. Uh, say, like, if you're launching a new product or you want to launch a new offering or even a webinar or something, you might not even know what all is involved to pull that off. And way too many times I've seen a owner make a decision like, hey, I need this done in 2 days, but they didn't understand all of the intricate pieces that went in place to make that happen. And again, if it was documented, they would be able to see, oh, we're going to need this, this, and this, and then properly plan their launch or whatever they're trying to do. So again, it's imperative at this stage when you're documenting stuff to talk to your employees, talk to the team members who are actually doing the job, so you'll know what their process is, so you'll know what all goes into it, and this will help you build a cohesive documentation of what's going on and then be able to automate it. Delegate ownership, not just tasks. So this is a big one. Um, Sometimes when you delegate something, if you don't give your team member or the employee permission to take ownership of that project or take ownership of that task, they're just going to be doing the task, and they're going to be keep checking in with you for every little thing. So you're going to want to make it clear that, hey, this is what I need you to do for this project or this task, and you have ownership of this, so they don't have to keep checking in with you, because that leads to procrastination and paralysis, really, if they have to keep asking you, for every little decision. I've had one client who would, just she would empower her team members to take ownership of the project and say, "Hey, I rather you ask forgiveness than permission." So really, when you're delegating stuff, make sure that you make it clear that they should take ownership of this, so they don't have to keep coming to you for every little thing. And then we want to build predictable systems that produce results without your input. So systems don't have bad days. They create consistent, predictable results, and that consistency builds trust with your clients, and that gives you more freedom. So you don't want to have to start from scratch every time you're doing something, every time you're launching something, every time you're trying to put an offer out. You don't want to have to keep starting from scratch, because that just introduces more errors. So let's talk about some key automations for your freedom. I talk about 4 areas: sales, marketing, operations, and service. Most every business is going to have that. So you want to set up automations or automate certain things in these areas to give yourself more freedom in your business. So the first is lead capture and follow-up automations. You should never lose a lead because you forget to respond. A lot of business is lost in the follow-up. A lot of the systems that I teach, follow-up is like the glue to hold the whole thing together. You want to be following up in every stage of the customer journey, not just after something's delivered or after somebody requests something. You're always going to want to be following up. And so the more people you get into your business, the more clients, you want this automated. You don't want to be doing this manually, because it's easy for things to fall through the crack. It's easy to lose track of how many people you got and which stage they're in. So you want to make sure that you automate this, where if someone requests a freebie from you, if they fill out a form, that they're instantly getting that welcome email, that they're instantly getting some type of follow-up sequence. that they're instantly getting a link to schedule time on your calendar. You're building trust without lifting a finger. The second thing you're going to want to automate is email nurturing and campaigns. So, nurturing your audience doesn't have to mean constant writing. You can set up evergreen campaigns that educate and build value over time. And I love doing this with my clients in their email marketing systems and CRMs. You can literally build out weeks and months worth of emails that not only educate your client on what you do, or nurture them on like some type of thing they should know about your product or service, but also keep you top of mind. You can build all of that out and schedule it in advance that goes out automatically no matter when someone enters into your funnel. Okay, so this is another area that you should automate and that you shouldn't just be doing manually, or that you should forget about altogether. Client onboarding and offboarding workflows. This is a big one. So, a messy onboarding experience can ruin a great sale. It's people's first impression of you with your company. And if they have a great experience from the start, they're more likely to become repeat customers. They're more likely to tell other people about you and bring in more sales. So, you want to automate this. If you automate your client onboarding, it ensures that every new client gets that welcome email, gets the documentation on what they should expect, what they get next. Even in my own client onboarding process, when someone signs up to me to work with me and sign all the things, they get a document that lists out everything for them to expect with links. So they're not having to wonder, okay, I've paid, now what? So it's very imperative that you have some type of automated client onboarding and offboarding. Even if you just getting started and you might say, well, I don't have a lot of clients right now, so I can just do this manually. I wouldn't suggest. I suggest that you get something in place automated as soon as possible, because you might hit a time where boom, like overnight, you get an influx of new clientele, and you don't want things to break down because you didn't have this system in place. So you can also automate offboarding. So we talk about onboarding people, but offboarding is just important. You want to make sure that you have an automated way to, deliver whatever files or whatever deliverable you have for them, and how to work with you further, and how to leave you a review. All of this you want to automate. Again, if it's automated and it's flowing, you don't have to be there to push that lever. Even team members don't have to be there to push that lever. And then support tickets and service request automation. So if clients are emailing you directly for every issue all of the time, it's a sign that you need a system in place. Automating the service intake, even with something simple like a form, make sure that the requests get routed to the right place, to the right person, and it sets clear intentions. Again, for me, I set the intention up front with my documentation that they get when they sign up, that, hey, this is when I check my emails. Here is how you set up time to talk with me on certain things. Here is when you can expect a reply. Like, set those expectations up first. And again, it's automated. I don't have to show up and keep saying that over and over again. Having a form where they can submit a ticket or using some type of service is also a great way to keep it automated. I have a client now where they have an amazing customer service group, and they were doing like a ton of things manually, right? So I came in and automated a few areas, and now they're even better. They get like love letters all the time about their support and how their clientele feels supported. And again, a lot of it is automated. A lot of it is automated, and there's no like big pressure on the customer service department like it was in the past when they were doing everything manually. So let's talk about why SOPs and training are essential. Um, Documenting repeatable processes step by step, empowering your team to act without constant guidance, reducing errors in onboarding time, and creating a business that maintains standards without micromanagement. So again, we're back at documenting repeatable processes step by step. So you want to start by recording yourself doing the task or the steps. And there's plenty of, I like to use Loom when I'm documenting a process, especially a lot of my stuff is web-based, computer-based. So using something like Loom to document it, Puzzle to document, anything like that, you want to record that. Start by doing that of each of the repeatable processes, and then turn that into a checklist. And there again, there is software out there where you can turn those SOPs into checklists that then all you have to do is give a link out, and any new hire, any new person can go through the steps and know that, hey, this is clicking, hey, this is going how it should be. And again, you as the business owner and CEO don't have to worry about, is this getting done? Is this getting done to our standards? Is this going how it should? The goal for documentation is always that someone can pick it up and follow it, even if they're brand new, even if they, you just hired them today. You want them to be able to pick it up. It's easily readable. Video, again, is great for this because most people are visual. So if you can do video step by step showing them that, again, that's going to help them get up to speed really quick. And, it's going to build that consistency and confidence in your team. Empower your team to act without constant guidance. So no one wants to be micromanaged. I hate to be micromanaged. So when your team knows what's expected and where to find answers, and that they can take action without needing to constantly get your approval, that frees you up and makes them feel trusted. Again, going back to that client I had who empowered her team, she had a powerful SOP built, where you would go through and answer questions to yourself like you were making a decision, like she would make a decision. So you would ask yourself, do I know this? Can I get this answer without going to her? And she had a knowledge base, which was, a place, one source of truth that everyone knew they could go to find whatever they needed, whether it was, canned responses, whether it was, how do we do this process? How do we do that? It was one place everyone knew they could go get it without having to bother her, and ask her, hey, how should we do this? Hey, can I do this? Is it okay? Again, ask forgiveness, then permission. So, make sure that you're empowering your team to act. And then reducing errors and onboarding time. When everything is documented, your new hires, they ramp up faster. You reduce the learning curve, especially if you're using video. If you're using, even if you're using written documented stuff, if there's visual elements to it, pictures pointing this, you click here and go here. Again, you are cutting down how quickly they can get up to speed and producing without your input. And fewer mistakes, fewer questions, fewer hand holding from you frees you up in your business. And you want to create a business that maintains standard, again, without the micro management. Systems protect your brand. Whether you're there or not, the process gets followed and your client experience stays strong. Every employee, team member, independent contractor in your business is representing your brand, is representing you and your company. So again, having these automated systems in place, having your uh, processes documented ensures that you are constantly represented in a great way. So let's segue into Novo and financial visibility and how I use Novo to keep on top of, in an automated way, on top of my finances. So even though I believe having an in-person bank is important, I also love the idea of having an online option, of being able to quickly get to my information, see where my business stands without having to worry about office hours and, the weekend or anything like that. Especially if you're a solopreneur. Most in-person banks, local banks, there's a minimum you have to have before you can even open, or there, especially for a business checking account, there's like a minimal balance you have to have. With Novo, I was able to get up and running quickly with no minimum balance, submit all my paperwork. Like, it was so easy. And the best part is they have an app, which I am a big fan. Really, I won't use any type of tech tool if they don't have an app, because we're always on the go as business owners. Having an app just is great for me. Um, Invoices, you can do individual invoices in Novo, which is great. I remember early on in my business, it was hard to find a system that also incorporated invoicing. So if you rely on invoicing clients heavily, you're going to want to check out Novo, because it's right there. It sends it out, it keeps a log, it keeps contact information, and because of their great integrations, you're going to know what's going on in your business, and the money's right there in your account. Now, Novo Reserves is probably my favorite feature. Uh, if you follow the philosophy of profit first, where you pay yourself first, Novo Reserves lets you do that easily, because you can use these envelopes to put percentages and split up your money, and also to pay, like a majority of my business bills are automatic. So I can go into Novo and tell it to pull from this bucket or pull from that bucket automatically to pay for it. So if you have like your expenses bucket, you can have it pull automatically from there, and the money is sitting there. Taxes, again, solopreneur, if you need to stay, it's great to put that aside immediately, so you're not scrambling at the end of the quarter or at the end of the year, however you file. I love that. And then again, being a business owner, you have some seasons where you're more profitable than others. I love that I can go in and adjust, my percentages quick and easy with no problem. And then again, I just love the visibility of being able to see how my business is doing at all times in Novo. They have a great budgeting tool, which I highly recommend you use, especially for technology tools and things like that. You should always have a budget for automation. So Novo makes it easy to do that. And perks. They have perks. They integrate with a lot of things, Stripe, QuickBooks. I can actually see my Stripe balance inside of Novo. Since I use Slack in my own business, I get cash back because I use Novo to pay them. So every month I get cash back from them. So yeah, I love, love, love Novo. So you can click, screenshot the QR code and get a free Novo account. Quick and easy. Check it out for yourself. I highly, highly recommend them. So, wrapping up, let's talk about some action steps you can use to start building your freedom. Uh, you can start doing this today to be in a better position to have that freedom in your business. So, number one is to audit your current processes and tasks. If you if you know everything's in your head, that's a good place to start. And I always say start with what's still in your time. What's the most time consuming? Where are you repeating yourself? Where are things falling through the cracks? If you audit, it helps you to stop guessing and start identifying what to fix first. So you want to audit the current way you do things. Maybe you started doing stuff in when you first got started in your business, but now you're at a different level in your business, so this process might not even fit anymore. So that's why it's great to audit your processes and tasks to get started. And again, that's something you can do today, right when we get off of here. You can start doing that with your team members, with your employees. As simple as asking everyone to submit, what process are you doing and how do you do it? Just something quick and simple. Um, Number two, you want to prioritize what can be automated or delegated first. Again, you don't have to automate everything. You don't have to automate everything at the same time. You don't have to do it all in one day. And I think that's what stops a lot of people from starting this process or even attempting to automate, is because they think they have to do it all at one time. No, 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 no. Start with what's repeatable. Start with something low risk and that's time consuming, even if that's something as simple as data entry, if it's something as simple as replying back to something that customers always, email you about, things like that. Start there and automate it and delegate it. Find out what it is and then get that off your plate. Okay. Number three, document and standardize key workflows. Again, pick your core business processes like onboarding, sales calls, content publishing. Write down how you want them done, and this gives you the blueprint to train others and then to eventually automate. Because again, it's better to build a foundation on documentation and standardized workflows and then automate that than to try to automate chaos, automate something that isn't consistent. You don't want to do that. And then number four, start small but stay consistent in system building. So one, automation. Systems aren't built in a day. Even though I do have a service where I can help you build one in a day, all automations aren't built. You're not going to get everything built in a day. You're not going to get all your SOPs done in a day. So start small. Pick one thing you want to automate, one process that you can build a SOP on, and pick one tool. Like, it all adds up. The key is to keep going, to keep building up on that one small step you take. Yeah, to build up on that one small step, keep going. You might start with one thing that you automate this month, and next month you look at automating something different. You might look at one process you really want to deep dive into and really get it tightened up, and then next month move to the next process. So start small, but consistently just keep going with it, and you will have freedom in your business and be able to relax when things happen. Relax and know if you need to step away, that your business is going to run without you. So that's all I have, but I do have a couple of resources and how to work with me. Now, if you've sat through this and it's like, man, that's a lot to think about, that's a lot to do, I'm a business owner, I really don't have time, can you do it for me? The answer is yes. I have various ways that we can talk about your specific business needs. I work with all type of businesses, and I can help any business get automated. So you can either do a technology breakthrough call. This is a free call with me where we're getting to know each other. I'm getting to know what goals you have, what's your vision for automation. So you can screenshot that QR code. I also have my proprietary system as a certified automation specialist. There's a system that I follow, and there are 6 systems that every business needs. This is a free, quick course that you can, it has action steps in it of the 6 systems to have in place. We've talked about a couple of them today, but you can grab that at that QR code. And then I have my flagship course, Power Up Your Business Processes. This is a paid course, but I help you set up those SOPs. You get templates, you get video walking you through the various areas. There's recommendations for tools that I use and everything. So if you're interested in that, you can screenshot that. And then there's my tech audit. So I do have a done for you service, and all of my done for you services start with the tech audit. So I like to go in and see what technology you're using, look under the hood of your business and see where the gaps are, where things could be shored up, and give recommendations and a blueprint. All that is done in my tech audit. So if you'd like to check that out, you can do that there. And this is how you can contact me, Samantha at organizingguru.com, organizingguru.com, or organizingguru.com/SPE links. You will, on that links page, is resources, my socials. You can follow me also on LinkedIn. I'm very active over there. So, yeah, I will open it up for any questions. I'm going to head back to this screen as I haven't been able to see the chat.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Samantha. I was over
Amanda?
and awesome. Amanda said she's followed you on LinkedIn.
Thank you.
And I was going to say, this is definitely the portion where I put it in the chat, but I want to direct y'all there from here and invite you also to come on camera and microphone as well if you'd like to bring your ideas or your questions up to Samantha directly. I know I really appreciated the breakdown of like sales, marketing, operations, and service being those like key areas to automate. But I also really appreciated the way you pointed out the delegation of ownership, not just tasks.
Mm-hmm.
The way that you pointed out, I think it was going from doing to design, and
Yes.
how decisiveness is like kind of that common thread. And I think you use that term as well as like the decision making process.
Mm-hmm.
So I was curious, is there any sort of like process you do with your clients to help them to like be decisive and lock in on the shift from like doing things a bit at a time, or like having that feedback loop constantly going, to being decisive?
Usually, when I'm working with my clients, the first thing we do in that kickoff meeting, I have them bring everybody to the table so we can all hash out everything like this: who's doing what, why are they doing it, what are, we do all that in that first meeting. And I really get them to a level of comfort where they like trust that I'm leading them the right way. And once you, especially when you documenting stuff, once you show them all the pieces and lay it all out and say, yeah, this person can handle this and this is how this will flow, and they see visually, it's like a big relief when they know I don't have to think about all that, I don't have to come up with all that. Just giving them permission to, delegate, giving them permission to trust the people they hired. You know, again, having that documentation is like that safety blanket for them, that I know it's going to be executed to my standards because I helped design that process. So I think that's that comfort level they get, especially with working with me.
Understood. And then like with the design piece, I think the design piece would work for everyone, right? Like the solopreneur
Yes.
as just as much as the,
Yes.
okay, let us know.
Especially as a solopreneur, you're usually the one doing everything. But even myself, I remember that first thing I delegated was like my social media and the creation of it. And I didn't want to let go of creating my social media stuff because I love doing that. But it was taking up my time, and just, you know, once I talked and designed and then gave them lead way to they're good at what they're doing. So I should trust that they know best too and going to keep my best interest in mind. So, yeah, as a solopreneur, it's especially important to go ahead and design for that team you eventually want to have instead of trying to do it on the fly, because you're you're never going to grow if it's just you doing all the things. Like, you just can't do that. You can't focus on your clients if you're doing all the things forever. You're going to get burnt out, and it's just not going to be fun. Then your business isn't fun.
Mm-hmm. And that's definitely, you want to keep the passion and want to keep the like that balance of working hard and knowing what it's for and feeling connected to it, for sure. I think um I was gonna say, if y'all could let us know how many of you are solopreneurs or are managing a team. I know we had a couple folks report that they're coaches. So is there anything in particular for like, yeah, like life coaches, folks in the wellness field, that like maybe is it leaning more towards the service and operations areas of automation? Like, yeah, is there any like I guess industry specific to that group that you would be able to
I
share?
I have worked with a lot of coaches, and one of my key clients is a coach, mindset coach, um, and client onboarding is big. Just getting people set up to coach with them, getting all the things they need to access how they're going to do their coaching sessions with you, how many sessions, where can I find this information, having that laid out and being able to go to them quickly is paramount. Also, just having, when people are joining your list, having that welcome sequence set up to nurture them. I set up like a getting to know you sequence from someone that I follow. I usually set that up in most of my clients, and it's like a 4 email sequence that everybody would go through once they get on your list, and it introduces them to your world and what you do. And it's no hard selling, but it's just educating them. This is how I can help you. This is what you can expect from me. Having that set up even is a great thing to have for coaches, no matter if you're a business coach, a life coach, career coach, fitness coach. Just having client onboarding and having that lead generation piece set up is great to get in place. So you're not doing everything. And believe it or not, scheduling. A lot of coaches were doing scheduling manually. So having automated scheduling set up and payment, having automated payment, because I've had a couple of clients who are coaches who were still manually sending out invoices or forgetting to, they were doing the coaching service, but forgetting because they had to manually send out a invoice that requires someone to pay them on a monthly basis, they would forget to send that out. So they were going a couple of months without getting paid when they could have set that up automatically.
Understood. Yeah. That kind of touches on the invoices with Novo. I know like we can help with that piece. I'm gonna ask if there was if anyone in the audience, have y'all automated your client intake and onboarding and things like that? Or if you have any questions about that, go ahead and share those in the chat. Again, if you go down to the center and the box with some lines in it. Awesome. Okay. Damali said she personally uses a done for you client experience system for wellness practitioners.
Awesome.
So yeah, so what kind of tools do you recommend, like as far as automation? When you say that, are you more of a proponent of like things that are designed, specially designed? Is it more of like a software and tool situation? Which, by the way, y'all, if you do use Novo, I shared the link for perks. Because Amanda mentioned how expensive some of the like customer service, phone answering services can be.
Right.
So Novo has some perks for different elements, even things like shipping and ads, marketing, and sales. So go ahead and take a look at those if you haven't before, or ask me about them. But back onto the topic at hand. What software do you recommend, or do you recommend working with a someone like yourself who like does more of a custom setup?
So I help them choose the tools, the tech tools to use. I'm a certified Keep partner, and I also am an affiliate for Active Campaign, which are the two main email marketing services I use that have built-in CRMs and that integrate with other things. Another tool that I use heavily is Airtable for documentation, which is like spreadsheets on steroids. I built a lot of custom dashboards for clients so they can see their data more easily in Airtable. Let's see, for documentation, I use Puzzle app, which has really been a game changer because I can lay out all of the tech tools and how they integrate in the flow of your processes, where they are, how much it's costing you, all of that, which is great for a business owner to see, because you should be auditing your tech tools every year at the furthest, but quarterly you should be evaluating, should I still be using this, should I still be using this, again, cost cutting. Because yeah, so yeah, those are just some of the tools. You should have some type of project management tools. I use Calendly for my scheduler. Um, uh, I use Slack heavily um, to communicate with a lot of my clients. So a lot of my clients have their own Slack, so I'm a member of them, and we communicate through there. Um, and again, I use Airtable to automatically send out my weekly updates to my clients, so they know what I did that week on their project. So, yeah, those are just some of the tools. But when you work with me, I look at what you're doing in your business, what you have, if that's best for you. A lot of industries have, especially like in real estate, have systems they have to use. So with things like that, I have to then find what will either integrate with it or enhance it, or how to uh, use automation in what they have. So
The puzzle, like you said, I like it.
yeah,
Okay.
I love puzzle.
That's really helpful. Thank you. I'm looking over to the chat area to see if there's any like questions thrown in. So we have a few minutes until the hour. Um, so y'all feel free to add those in. Okay. Damali says automation of operations was resonating the most for her. I definitely asked everyone like what stood out the most as far as like sales, marketing, operations, or service for their
Mm-hmm.
next step with automation. So can we get into what operations automation looks like, or some first steps? Whether it is that like tech audit, maybe it's more a wider resources audit.
Uh, it starts with a tech audit because operations is more admin heavy.
Actually, just a moment. I wanted to see, Damali, did you want to come onto camera or microphone? I'll send you an invitation and then you can always take it if you'd like. But just heads up, it's coming. And you can continue, Samantha.
Yeah, operations is usually admin heavy. Uh, so and also that can include hiring, that can include new hires, things of that nature, project managers for your business, especially if you're like a coach or something. You might have a project manager or some type of service business. uh, so yeah.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Samantha, for sharing
You're
your
welcome.
experience. Yes, so for me, as a holistic wellness coach, I do have a system for client experience that's actually it's really done for you, but it's really customized for my needs. So that piece is really, I'm loving that. It's working well.
Right.
However, I'm still a solopreneur, and what that means, I do have a virtual assistant support, but I did find myself that I was struggling a little bit in terms of streamlining my needs to make sure that I get the support that I needed.
Yes.
And so that's when, in terms of operations, for me, that's something I'm trying to figure out. How can I be able to streamline my systems and processes on my end outside the client experience so that, I can be able to just click on something. I think you did mention even the idea of a dashboard, being able to see that, because I'm also a very big picture person,
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
very organized, but when it comes to the business, I'm sort of like, okay, I need to really hone on that. So yeah, that's I wanted to get your
I
insights on that.
I think with you, I would really sit and think about, so you got the client experience down, but think about what are all the processes I need to actually run my business, whether that's,
Mhm.
marketing wise, what help do I need with driving leads? Like, how am I getting people in here? What content do I need to be creating? How am I invoicing people? How are people, uh,
Right. Yeah.
things of that nature. like scheduling in, like I had to schedule in 2 admin days just to get my stuff done because I was doing everybody else's stuff, but my stuff was falling by the wayside. So just really, you might have to take a day where you're thinking about what are all the things in my business that keeps it running, that I can automate, that I can delegate, and just start writing those down. That way you'll be able to see, okay, I don't need nobody for this. I really don't need this right now. I have this portion, but I really need help on maybe I need a VA to handle this. Because again, a lot of VAs can handle not only tech stuff, but they can, handle social media posting. I know I have one client who they knew they had the tech stuff, they had me for the tech and all that, but they needed help with the marketing piece. Like they was like, I don't want to be the copywriter. I don't want to come up with that. So that they honed down to know, after spending all this money on different coaches and stuff, they realized this is what I needed to keep the needle moving. And so that's what I would suggest you do, is just take a day or take 4 hours to do that, get somewhere and really think through, how are you getting your business, and what are the key pieces you need to keep your business running, and then go from there.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. And I'd be happy to help.
Okay, thank you for joining, Denise. Take care. And thank you for coming on, Molly. So Norma asked if like what phone answering system you would recommend. What would you recommend? What tool do you recommend for automated phone answering?
So again, that depends on what you do, how much you want to pay. I've seen clients use something like Grasshopper. It's great. I use Keep as my email marketing, and my business line is through Keep, and it has automated answering and all that built in. So you might want to check that too. Like if you're using an email marketing system with CRM capabilities and whole systems, that might be an avenue too. There's Thrive, because I'm a certified Thrive partner too. They have business lines with automated answering and things of that nature. So yeah, I would probably just need to, know what kind of like your workflow, like what you're wanting to accomplish. Like if it's just as simple as, if people call my business line, I need it to pick up and send them to a voicemail or something like that. Then you can even do Google Voice with that if you want like a free option.
That makes sense. That like it's a combination of kind of like what the budget is, and then like what around, as you're saying, with to Damali, as listing the essential steps, and so like which parts can you keep on and which parts do you want to be sure to automate,
right?
And then what tool does each of the pieces that you actually want around. Yeah, okay. Because they all do there's so many different versions doing similar things, right?
Right.
Unique features,
and you might have stuff that overlaps, and so you're paying for stuff that overlaps.
Yeah. Here's Norma. Thank you for joining in.
Hey, Norma. You're on mute.
Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. So yeah, my business, I'm an LDA. So we provide legal documentation services and court services. And a lot of people call me asking for the services, asking for an appointment. I just don't have time for that. So that's what I would like, somebody just to answer the call and then schedule an appointment. I do have Calendly,
Mm-hmm.
but I see that a lot of people do not, especially I guess elderly people, they just do not want to use Calendly. They just don't want to use anything like that. They want to speak to somebody and schedule an appointment. So that's what I would need. I would need somebody that would help me just automate that part of my process.
So you might want to check out like Video Ask or Bonjour, because with that you can have like pre-recorded videos. Even if you go to my technology breakthrough, you'll see I have a video ask. It's pre-recorded. I'm asking you a question and they can talk back, text back, or get on video and send that back, and you can have it like there's a whole thing that you can build out that then sends them the next video, sending them to your calendar or saying, great, especially if you know kind of like what people normally always ask. Uh, I think that might be great because that will give, especially elderly people, they will feel comfort that, yeah, I see your face. I'm talking to a real person. And and it has an app, so you can even record something quick on your phone with the app and send it back to them, and they can go to their email, um, and they can respond back via email. Yeah, so that might be an option too, and I know it
Okay.
integrates with a bunch of things like your booking calendar, Calendly, all of that. So yeah, that might be a nice option. There's Video Ask and Bonjour.
Bonjour videos. Okay, I'll look into all of these tools that you gave me, all these applications, and see which one works best for me. Thank you. I appreciate your time.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Norma. And the links are in the chat for those two. The links are also there to to sign up for Novo using Samantha's referral. And I'm going to actually take that down from being pinned and go ahead and pin Samantha's LinkedIn again. And I've also shared the links for the weekly
The
events
Bonjour,
calendar.
I think it's Bonjour app, if I'm
Bonjour
not
app.
mistaken.
Okay.
Bonjoro, that's what it is. Bonjoro, Bongoros.
All right, I'll go ahead and change that. Thank you.
If anybody DMs me or anything, whether in the Novo community, Alignable, LinkedIn, I'd be happy to send them anything they need.
That's the right email address?
Yes.
All right. And then here we go. And as we are after the hour, I want to say thank you so much to all of you for joining in. I hope you got exactly what you came for and a bit more. And there will be more to come with Samantha.
Yes.
Go ahead and I'm trying to find the LinkedIn post I made. Here it is. So if you look to the top or at the bottom actually of the chat, here it is. Stay connected with Samantha on LinkedIn. We'll be announcing the next event to come.
Yes.
More on automation, more on reclaiming your time and building the essentials into your business so you've got a sustainable working machine that's going to grow. All right. Thank you, Damali, for tuning in.
Thank you all
for joining in.
Thanks for joining. This was fun.
It was. More to come. And yeah, hopefully y'all are ready to take a next step today, whether that's getting in touch with Samantha and bringing more of your specific like ideas and
questions or anything.
Yeah, objectives up. Or if that is looking into some software, or maybe it's signing up for Novo. Thank you all. Have a great day. Good to see you again, Amanda. And I want to go ahead and end the stream. Thank you so much, Samantha.
Thank you.
See you around the Novo community.
Yes.
Talk to you soon.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.